show today. We've got the Phantom of the Opera is going to be on the show, and I will break into the song. I'm sorry now, I just apologise now. Earl Carpenter, when you're on, I will have to sing at you, which is a bit embarrassing. Greg Wallace will be bringing us some Mother's Day food, because it's not all about spending a lot of money. Please, 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 please don't do that. We also have comedian Kim Noble, who keeps looking at me through the glass from various glass windows, and he's there right in front of me. And he's going to be live on the show. Gina Lana will be singing live. We also have Vivian Opara from Rye Lane, the film, and also Arian Nick talking about Alleluia and Count Abdullah. And we're going to be talking all about the Sky Show, A Town Called Malice. So please go nowhere. Let's get lucky. Do you know what? I know there are lots of you out there who find Mother's Day really, really tough. So we're going to be thinking of you and talking about you in just a moment.
You can't play anymore because you always cheating. So that's why your mama's on crack rock. No, she isn't with your ugly behind. Ooh, we're gonna tell your mama. So tell her. Your mama's on crack rock. Your mama's on crack rock. Not my mama. Your mama's on crack rock. No, she ain't. Your mama's on crack rock. I don't wanna hear it. Your mama's on crack rock.
Yo, here's a story about a girl who was tricking on the app. It might be your mama, but don't you laugh. Last night I saw your mama. She was tricking on the block. You know what she was doing? She was tricking for the crack rock.
Your mama's on crack rock. Not my mama. Your mama's on crack rock. You got life. Your mama's on crack rock. Girl, I bust you up. Your mama's on crack rock.
Now, I saw the girl again.
Yo, Rick, what are you saying?
She was down on her knees and the girl wasn't praying. She was tricking on a trickster. She was tricking mighty hard. I knew it was her, even though it was dark. Cause the girl had a way to make sounds.
What's up?
She made sounds like it was the stuff she cut. It was loud, my man, like a jukebox. And yo, guess what? She was doing it for the crack rock.
Your mama's on crack rock. That's your tricking mama. Your mama's on crack rock. You got my mama big. Your mama's on crack rock. Yours too. Your mama's on crack rock.
Now yeah, it's your mama, but hey, don't take it seriously, player. I'm just a customer, I just wanna slap, okay? Now it's a shame that your mama's on the crack rock, giving up her life and selling body on the whole block. I'm gonna try it out anyway, excuse you. Get out my way, boy, or I'm gonna bust you up in a minute. So take a big step back. I can't help it cause your mama's selling body for crack.
My mama told somebody that your mama selling her body for money, but I don't know what that means. My mama told me she is selling her body for crack. You can talk about my mom, but I bet my mom don't have that weed in her head.
Yo, young lady, what's up, baby? You be coming around here with all that money and stuff all the time, baby. Where you get that money from? You got 6 kids at the house to feed. What's up, girl?
Yeah, but I just got $1.50 and I need a hit real bad. I'm trimming and I just need a hit.
Your mama's on crack rock. Girl, you crazy? Your mama's on crack rock. My mama in the rehab. Your mama's on crack rock. My mama don't do that no more. Your mama's on crack rock.
Now, I hate to say this, but your mama's on the crack. What? I saw her tricking, yo.
Please stop, cause they picking at me.
I love that song. Listen, this is a message to everybody out there who finds today really, really tough. We're not going to be going on about Mothering Sunday, Mother's Day at all on this show. There are a lot of you out there who have lost their mums. There are a lot of people out there who've lost their children. There are a lot of people out there who've tried to be mums and people who choose not to be mums. So to all of you, I'm just sending hugs, and that's the last mention we're going to have of it. Apart from my first guest, who we're going to be speaking to in a moment, he actually has a voicemail, a voice note from his mum, which we are going to possibly play out live. He's now, you can hear him in the background. I haven't faded up his mic yet. I haven't faded your mic up yet. No, I haven't faded it up. No, he's scared. I've faded it up now. Say hello.
Hello.
He's very nervous. You don't have to be nervous. I'm really not scary. Kim Noble coming up after this.
She's a bad mamma jamma, just as fine as she can be. Hey, she's a bad mamma jamma, just as fine as she can be. Her body measurements are perfect in every dimension. She's got a figure that's shown of great attention. She's poetry in motion, a beautiful sight to see. I get so excited viewing her anatomy. She's real, oh, she's tight, got all the curves a man like. She's real, oh, she's tight, got all the curves a man like. Look at her, she's a bad mamma jamma, just as fine as she can be. She's a bad mamma jamma, oh, just as fine as she can be. Looks like she's born into the grown she bad. The essence of beauty, ooh, such lovely hair. She's foxy classy, oh, sexy sassy. She's heavenly, a treat for the eye to see. She's real, oh, she's stacked, got all the curves of men like. She's real, oh, she's stacked, got all the curves of men like. Ooh-wee, she's a bad mamma jamma. Ooh, she's bad, just as fine as she can be. Hey, she's a bad mamma jamma, oh, just as fine as she can be.
Yes, Kim Noble. Tom Grennan is very lovely. I'm lucky
sounds
enough.
awful.
No, he doesn't. He sounds very, very nice. Kim Noble is an artist. He's an actor, a performer, a comedian. He's multidisciplined.
That's really good, thank you.
Does that work?
Because I wasn't sure how to. I knew you were going to ask me that.
No, I'm
to
not going to.
describe myself, and I didn't know what to say.
You know what? So Kim, this is we're not mentioning Mother's Day, but we're mentioning this voice note. Could you hold it up to the microphone?
Yeah.
This is your mum.
This is my mum.
First saved message.
There we go. Listen.
Received today at 10:57 a.m. Hi there, Kim. Some lovely flowers have just arrived. Thank you so much. You shouldn't have done that. You're a very, very kind son. Hope you're okay. Hope it was all right last night.
Yeah. Sadly, that the flowers weren't from me.
Now, is this really true? Does your mum? So your mum thinks you sent her flowers for Mother's Day, and they're not from you.
They're not from me. No, I totally forgot. So happy Mother's Day, Mum, but they're not from me.
What's her name?
Liz.
Hello, Liz.
Yeah.
I'd love to say they were from me, but they weren't. That would be lying.
I think they're from her goddaughter who's trying to weasel away into my mum's affections.
Liz, call him back quickly now, and we'll get you live on air.
I did say, do you want to be live on air? And she said no.
Oh, did she?
No.
No way. No, thank you. Well, happy Mother's Day, Liz. The other thing that you did, which slightly freaked me out, is you recorded some questions that I gave my guests last week.
Yeah.
You recorded in case I was going to ask them to you this week.
Yeah, your first question, because it was weird, because last week, right, you had a guest on who was also trying to sell tickets for a show
For
at
the Soho Theatre.
Theatre.
It was his lifelong dream to be there.
Yeah, and this was your first question.
How tall are you, sir?
That was your first question
No, but
to
that
him.
was because he's 6'8".
Well, I've got an answer.
6'7"?
6'1", Gabby.
Oh, you! That's you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for recording that.
And
Because
then what I did is I was worried it wasn't going to be you. You know, sometimes you go on holiday.
yeah, no, I'm not. I don't actually. I haven't for a
No?
long time. No.
But do you have stand-in presenters, though?
I have. Not,
Well, they
not
often
for a
do
long
on
time.
BBC, don't
yeah,
they?
but I haven't for a long
Well,
time. Okay.
6'1" stand-in presenter.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Just in case, yeah.
it wasn't. But it was me. It is me.
And then another one.
Yeah.
6'1", but does size really matter?
Not at all.
So I was just like,
it doesn't, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
thanks.
what was so weird is that he was a complete and utter delight, and he said ever since he was very little,
Yeah.
he'd always wanted to be at the Soho Theatre.
Can I also tell you what he said?
No, we're not going through that interview again. We're talking about you, Kim.
Yeah, but
it's you, Kim.
Yeah,
no,
but he said
Kim.
he said
Kim.
he said it's he said his show was a comedy, right?
Yeah.
So is mine.
Okay.
He said
Tick,
it was a
tick.
play with different styles. So is mine.
Tick tick. Oh, is it the same show?
Well, it sounds like it. He says it's different. It's difficult to describe, like mine. He said
Okay, but
there's
yours is
music
called
in it.
Lullaby for Scavengers, and his
But
wasn't.
is it just we're just all making the same show? He says his has got sketch comedy in it, which sounds awful. Mine doesn't. That's the only selling point
See,
of my
I
show.
love sketch comedy. So I'm not
Yeah,
coming to
yeah,
see yours.
yeah,
You can leave the
don't.
studio.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, I'm only joking. So you're
Yeah.
part of the Perrier Award-winning, BAFTA-nominated experimental art comedy duo Noble and
Where
Silver.
did you get that from?
From your agent, your
Okay.
publicist.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I was. That was many
And
years ago.
That's many years ago, but
Yeah,
it's now
yeah.
just you. Do you know what I would like to talk to you about
Yeah.
before we talk about your show? I want to talk about B&Q,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
obviously, as this is the BBC, many other places are available to get your tools.
I did something in Homebase as well. So yeah.
Okay, that's okay, and anywhere else. You went undercover as somebody. Is this right? You were
Yeah.
undercover as somebody who worked there.
Yeah,
for 6 months.
I applied for a job there and I didn't get the job, and then so I made my own uniform, like orange apron, right? So I designed an apron with the logo on it. It looked exactly the same, and then went and with a hidden camera went and sort of like worked there undercover without anyone knowing, and
For 6 months?
well, part time, not every day.
Okay.
But yeah, 6 months.
Did anybody ask where's your
yeah.
pass and things?
No, you can just, because you know what it's like in there. There's all these huge aisles, and I just hang out and spoke to customers, danced with customers, read them poetry.
Kim, I love
pranced around
that you did this.
and then but I was also quite rude to quite a lot of customers.
No, I don't love that bit.
No, and got chucked out of had to leg it from a few stores when the managers.
Oh, you went to different stores?
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
went
just
around
one
the country doing it. Yeah, well, I'd go on holiday and I'd take my apron with me. I'm such a loser that's the kind of thing that I do.
Is this can we watch this? Have you made it into a TV show?
No.
YouTube?
It was part of it was part of the last live show. But that's kind of the thing I do. I kind of do odd things and record it and then present them live. And that's.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You remind me very much of a chap I used to work with called Chris Evans. You and Chris would get on like a house on fire. So tell me about Lullaby for Scavengers, please.
Hold on a minute.
No. You're not. No, I don't want it recorded. I want it live. You've recorded your answer, haven't you?
Here we go. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Twinkle, you have that thing. You have that X Factor, whatever you want to call it. So it's all going to work.
You want me to say that to you?
Lullaby for Scavengers.
Then let's say it again. So
That's known as
From the
editing.
15th of March through to the 8th of April.
Tell me about
Lullaby for Scavengers.
So that was an edit of you last week.
Do you know what, Kim?
Yeah.
I think you are just brilliant. You're
Thank
my
you.
new favourite person.
Wow.
I won't say that to anybody else either.
Okay.
Kim, can you please tell me about your show?
Yeah, I really don't.
You don't know what it is?
Well, I think when theatre makers come in and talk about their shows, like the guy last week, I didn't want to go and see his show. I'm sure your listeners are going to listen to this and go, oh my, what is that? I'm not buying tickets for that.
Okay, well, let's tell everybody not to see it.
It's a show by a dead squirrel that I found in my attic, and I had it stuffed and made it into a puppet. So the dead squirrel presents the show. It's a love story about London. Ellie, who's lovely, said something about it being about the human condition, but what show isn't? It's kind of about trying to escape, get out of this life somehow, trying to fit in, and it's got a funny bit in it as well.
Kim, honestly,
Yeah.
I know we're trying to tell people not to come, but I have to come and see this show because I just think you... like to see his show, it's at the Soho Theatre from the 15th of March until the 8th of April. Tickets are available now at sohotheatre.com. You can also find him at mrkimnoble.com. What a brilliant, brilliant guy.
BBC Radio London.
Discover the defensive training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting videotape. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same revolutionary new training techniques that have produced Baseball World's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. The Defensive Drills video vastly improves players' arm strength, running speed, quickness, agility, and infield and outfield defensive skills. Even coaches practice organization. Lou Pavlovich, Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. Many professional players are excited about this videotape. Just ask Atlanta Braves superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
Baseball World's Defensive Drills video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free. 1-800-253-8005. That's 1-800-253-8005.
It really worked for me.
That's what you're listening to right now on Sunday afternoon with me, Gaby Roslin. Good afternoon. How are you doing today? Delighted to be talking television with Sinead William. Hello, Sinead. Are you not well today? Are you all right?
I'm fine. Yeah, no, I like a lot of people after COVID, it sort of hits your weak spot, and mine were my sinuses for some reason, and I do get these recurring sinus infections, so that's why I couldn't make it into the studio today. But I'm sort of propped up with cushions here, so I'm fine. But thank you for
sorry. Can I just say, Kim Noble is just brilliant. He reminds me of Chris Evans.
Ah. Interesting comparison. Very talented man, yes. Been around for some time, actually. I think I remember him in a double act with some.
Yes.
They used to be called Noble and Silver.
They did.
Years ago.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
Very original and distinctive mind.
Very, yes.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of Chris in the way that he'll just go with something and he'll. I mean, he said he was nervous, but it was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant.
I think he deals with quite major dark issues as well, which I think is really brave in a comic, to go to places that ask challenging questions. No, he's terrific.
He really is. Now, Sinead, we are going to be talking about a show that it's a final show. We're going to give people sort of hints. I believe in this show. I'm so pleased we're discussing it. And I've got a tip for you at the end of it all of another thing that I watched. So we're going to start with Endeavour, which every one of my TV reviewers talks about because it's a special show.
It's so clever. Russell Lewis, the writer, took this wonderful idea of looking at Inspector Morse as he might have been as a young man. He was very lucky to find an actor like Sean Evans to embody the character, because right from the beginning you get that sense of loss and isolation and loneliness. He embodies it so brilliantly, but he's also really good at being ever so slightly a know-all and slightly irritating, but also just so romantic and dreamy and wonderful. And I thought it was the most remarkable performance in this last episode. I mean, I can't think of another television series that would end with two massive chunks of Shakespeare, actually. Henry IV Part 2, when he Endeavour looks at his boss. I won't spoil it for anyone, actually, the plot, but there's a moment where he loses the scales fall from his eyes, perhaps, and a single tear falls from his eye as he says, "I know thee not, old man." And then Anton Lesser, who I think is a really great actor, was wonderful as the big boss Bright, and he quotes the whole of Prospero's wonderful "Our little lives are rounded by a sleep" speech, and they both really work. They add to the character. They create this sense of great drama and resolution. And you do feel, because you've seen this character grow from this sort of vest-wearing whippersnapper into somebody who will now turn into John Thor's character. The journey is really clear. But I think it's because it's not even the plots. The plots, I can't even remember one from the week before. It's the drama between the characters that you look for. It is the growing of the relationship between Morse and his wonderful boss, Inspector Thursday, played by the brilliant Roger Allam. And then you see also other characters who appeared later, like Strange, who eventually becomes Morse's boss, where their roots are, and things like the growth of the Masons, the way in which society changed. It reflects its era rather brilliantly without over-egging it ever. It's just, it is the 60s here. But no, I can't recommend it highly enough. I would go on to ITVX and start from the beginning, because I think it's an intelligent, clever drama.
Do you know, that's interesting you mentioned ITVX, because it's just come up on Sky. I know you can get TV many ways, but what a great selection they have up there. I'm not advertising it, I'm nothing to do with it, but it's a really good selection. Also, Sean Evans was on the show a few years ago, and I just think he's got that thing, hasn't he?
Oh, he really has. He's a very gifted actor. He actually directed a few of the episodes as well towards the end of the run. And there's a great moment, actually, which I did think was stunning. The way they ended, it was to really look forward to Morse. So they ended in Blenheim Palace, where a black Jaguar driven by the young Morse crosses the path of a red Jaguar. And in the windscreen of both episodes, you see the eyes of both actors, which is a really lovely way to go forward. So the old Morse arrives at Blenheim as the young Morse disappears. It was just really kind of thoughtful and satisfying and rather beautiful. But I would highly recommend it as just intelligent. It makes demands of its audience. And it's also, I think, rather a moving and also really funny show sometimes. There's a lot of humour in it. So, full marks to Russell Lewis, really, the writer.
Thank you. And Nazanin, please. This was on Thursday, Channel 4 at 9:00.
Yeah, this was a remarkable piece of television, because the director stayed with Richard Ratcliffe for most of the 6 years that Nazanin was in prison. They've even got footage of her being arrested at the border. I mean, it's really, really shocking programme, and so many examples of her having to look at her daughter Gabriella's life through a phone link from prison in Iran, that the sacrifices that Richard Ratcliffe made to just keep going, the interface with the government. The only government minister who comes out with any credibility is Jeremy Hunt, who did in the end resolve the situation by simply paying the debt that was owed to Iran by UK for the 6 years. And the truth is, she could have been out in months. She didn't need to be there for 6 years. And the situation, of course, was made far worse by Boris Johnson implying that she'd been teaching journalism when, in fact, she was just on holiday. So it's, I'm afraid, a catalogue of appalling behaviour. Although, as Richard Ratcliffe himself says, that the real nightmare is the Iranian National Guard in this situation. But no, very moving. Again, very uplifting. You just see people enduring. She endured extraordinary things. And she still manages to speak to her daughter about ordinary things, in a very loving and uplifting way. They celebrate birthdays, and there's a very moving bit where they're in a little party in a park and the phone is passed around so she gets to meet her little friends, But I can't imagine the agony of being in that prison, having to look at her daughter grow up via phone. Wonderfully, you do see the moment at the end where she comes back. So it is, it ends in an uplifting way, but it's a great piece of documentary making as well, and not intrusive, just wonderful. I would highly recommend it. And that was Channel 4 Thursday at 9 p.m. And of course, you can catch up on their streaming service as well. Everyone has a streaming service.
They do. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Sinead, for the moment, thank you very much. More after Kylie.
Wanna buy a new car, but the price ain't right. Ain't that cold? Be a damn sight cheaper, yes it would. Started riding a bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. The rent's gone up higher, yes it is. Got the parents lying. I'll pay you tomorrow. Lord, it's a real mother for ya, yeah. Make you wanna run for cover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Oh! Good God. Listen, got to go to a disco. Throw your troubles away. Dance to the music, yeah, that the DJ plays. Well, all right. And then the lights come on, yeah, like you knew they would. Ain't that cold? Gone home and face the music. That don't sound too good. Ain't that cold? Listen. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. It'll make you wanna run for cover, yeah. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Oh! Yes, it will. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Say it's a real motherfucker. Oh, get out of here! My goodness. Too cold. Cold-blooded, cold-blooded. I'm telling you the truth. Let me stop here at this gas station. Give me 3 gallons of low lead. Ain't no food, nothing else. I better stop and get me 2 hot dogs and a strawberry soda. It's a real motherfucker. Yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Yeah. Woo, it's a real motherfucker.
William is here talking television.
Hello.
Sinead, we have Greg Wallace on later, and I know you're a MasterChef fan.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure when it's coming back. I'm hoping he might reveal all.
Ooh, that will be interesting.
And he's also talking about pizzas.
Ooh, pizza pitters. Well, that makes sense. Any sort of carby thing you can put a bit of tomato and cheese on.
Yes, because all this Mother's Day thing about having to go out and spend lots of money and buy things. No, we're not doing that. Sorry.
No. Oh gosh, you really don't need to. I mean, it's about the thought, isn't it?
It really
cup of tea
is.
in bed. My poor son years ago tried to bring me a cup of tea and burnt his hand, and I had to take him to a walk-in centre, and it was full of small boys with burnt hands.
No, you're kidding.
There was about another 3 there, and the nurse said, "Oh yeah, another one." You know, because they'd scalded themselves, essentially.
No.
Yes, I know. Apparently, it's a Mother's Day thing.
Oh,
so
well, please, everybody, be careful. Step
be
away
careful,
from the kettles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're talking television. Let's go to Wild Isles. We're going to watch it on iPlayer. It was. I think the first one was last week, wasn't it? 8
That's
o'clock,
right.
BBC
And
One.
And tonight, apparently, it's Britain's woodlands through the seasons, which sounds wonderful. I mean, I have to say, there's a look at how a subterranean network of fungi connects the whole forest together. Now, if you've watched any of The Last of Us, you're not really in the mood to hear about a subterranean network of fungi, because mushrooms are apparently phenomenally clever, and this whole network connects the every woodland. I mean, that's extraordinary. They're sort of vivid and alive, and I think it's going to be a fascinating piece of television. But do not look at The Last of Us after you've watched this tonight, is my advice to you. But no, I think this is, the thing about him is he understands what he's talking about. What he's doing here, he's saying, look, we already live in a magical countryside. We don't have to go to the jungles of Africa or the polar ice caps. You can see magic around you in Britain, and we need to preserve it. Great. And I know that there was there is an extra episode that was apparently made for the World Wildlife Fund. It wasn't actually made for the BBC, but it will be on the iPlayer. And that has some quite serious points to make about how we can make a change. We
need to be careful. We need to look after it.
We need to conserve it. And I think these programmes remind us just of the richness of our environment.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, here comes the song. Ted Lasso is back. I love this show so much. I mean, I know I go on about it a lot, but I really love it. I love it.
Well, it is a great show, and thank goodness this first episode of I think, I'm told, possibly the last series was just everything you wanted, really, and still chock-a-block with great lines. In fact, I have to use subtitles because they speak so fast, and the deep South accent that Ted Lasso affects sometimes is quite impenetrable. But just great jokes and wonderful characters. Hannah Waddingham, how magnificent is she?
She's a goddess, my lovely friend. I couldn't be prouder. I mean, she's brilliant. America has taken this show to their hearts. Seems a lot of the UK hasn't quite as much, but I want everybody to latch onto it and watch it from the beginning.
I think that's the thing, yes.
The first few episodes were a bit risque, I suppose is the best way to put it. But it is worth delving into it. And the funny thing is that lots of kids love it, and it's such an uplifting show, and just believe.
It's a family show. It's a fact you can watch it with your kids,
but
and
there's
it
a
is
lot
a bit
of swearing
at times.
and there's a lot of
It is. I think most children hear worse in the schoolyard, frankly. But it's got a lot of heart. It's about relationships, but it's full of just the great one-liners, and Brett Goldstein is very, very funny also as Roy, particularly in those first two series when Roy is this kind of this extraordinary kind of groaning noise that is his main piece of dialogue. But exactly. But they're all great. The Beard is great, and Jeremy Swift is particularly funny as Leslie as well. But it's just got great characters, fantastic one-liners, and a really fascinating backdrop.
I love it. Please, everybody, watch it. It's on Apple TV. If you haven't got a subscription, go and find a friend who has, because yes, of course it's extra money, and I'm not saying to do that, but it really is. It's a joyful show. If I may, I'd like to give you something to watch, but my husband had to tell me off because I was screaming so much because I was so terrified by it, which is Luther.
Idris
Fallen
Elba.
Son. The new film. It's now streaming, and I had to keep pausing it because it's really, the evil character in it is the most evil person you can imagine. So
excellent.
It's superb. So hopefully next time, tell me what you think. And as always, Sinead, thank you very much, and I wish you better, and go and do some nice hot steam breathing.
Will do.
All right,
pleasure.
My lovely. Thank you.
Let me see them guts break, touch the ground. Slide that button, make it jump up and down. You gotta get butt naked, but if you want my money, yo, you gotta shake it. So what you gonna do? You gotta say something for Mad Ball or Uzi too. Roll them hips, get this grip, now let me see them pretty lips. You know I be loving it, but bring that butt too close, I'm up in it. See, I'ma get my money's worth trick, and I ain't trying to make you rich. JT with a different kind of flavor. Freak, shake what your mama gave you. Come on, shake what your mama gave you. Slap that butt and make it jiggle. Now shake for a little. Drop to the ground, do a split. Bounce up and down like you on that love stick. Grab the pole. Bend on over, now touch your toes. JT just can't get enough. You know I love that wild stuff, but just don't stop. I'll slip you a slight bet for a tabletop, cause I got the cash flow. But to see, you gotta go for what you know. Can't nothing save ya. Freak, shake what your mama gave ya. Come on, come on, shake what your mama gave ya. Let me say, shake what your mama gave ya. Come on, shake what your mama gave ya. Let me say, shake what your mama gave ya.
You ain't just a whoopin'. That's a whole lot of cash. I gotta admit, honey, it's a whole lot. Yeah.
Yo, freaks, get that butt on the floor. Show me what you got in store. If you can't holler, now see me later. I gotta say peace to Devastator for making the beat. Now I'ma give a shout out to all you big booty freaks for working that thing so smoothly. Piece of Mike Fresh, Mad Ball, and Uzi. Say JT like the disc hoes. Well, how you like this, hoe? Get buck wild. Shake that thing like it's going out of style. Don't hide the vibe. Make that butt swing from side to side. Now you got the flavor. Freak, shake what your mama gave ya. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, come on. Shake what your mama gave ya. Let me say, shake what your mama gave ya. Come on, shake what your mama gave ya. Let me say, shake what your mama gave ya. Shake what your mama gave ya. Come on, shake what your mama gave ya. Shake what your mama gave ya. Hey, y'all get mad because I don't want to go with y'all. Come on, baby, let's do it.
Just to say again, if you didn't hear the beginning of the show, the reason we're not making a big deal out of Mother's Day is because there are a lot of people out there who have lost a mother, lost a child, have tried to have children and aren't able to, or just choose to not be mothers. So we're not making a big deal of it today, but we are going to be giving you some recipes because we just think, if you are wanting to celebrate it in any way, then you don't have to go and spend a fortune. So we've got Greg Wallace coming on. He'll be live. He'll be telling us some great recipes. Maybe he'll tell us a bit about MasterChef too when the next series is coming out. Now we're going to find out all about LTSB, Leadership Through Sport and Business. And joining us now is Pete Ward. Pete, welcome to the show.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Please, I love this idea. Sport and businessship, and this is about helping people. And I think any charity that helps others to feel good about themselves is something that we need to celebrate. Tell me more, please.
Yeah, thank you for the chance to talk about what we do. We're a social mobility charity, and one of the sort of real arguments for doing that is making sure that people have access to opportunities that within their ability and their ambition. So when we're talking about social mobility, we're just making sure that people aren't limited by the conditions of their birth, who their parents are, who they know, and making sure that actually they just have more choice over their future. So we work with bright young people nationally who are capable of doing, amazing careers with major firms and just connecting them to those opportunities. And one of the vehicles that we do this through is our pre-employment support, where we use sport as a way of increasing their confidence. And we just got to give them the sort of familiarity for an environment that's usually quite different for anything their family have done before.
So fear can obviously get in the way, and judgment, which is awful. Two things, we all have fear over certain things, of course we do, but we live in such a judgmental society right now, which is, and I think we have done for quite a while, and I think that's really sad. And working through sport, I think, is a great way. It's team sports. I know there are solo sports as well, but, all coming together, working together and talking and finding out more about themselves.
Yeah, sport is an incredible vehicle for developing confidence and communication abilities as well. So we work with football foundations. We obviously had to take a bit of a hiatus during the pandemic, but we'd work with West Ham United Foundation, for example, and we'd have young people do refereeing qualifications. And the reality is, not all of our young people loved football, but they loved blowing a whistle and telling someone what to do, like being able to hand out a yellow card and a red card.
I love that. I'd never thought of it that way because I'm not a football fan. I know nothing about football, but I probably would be quite good with a whistle and being bossy.
What we found actually that the young women on the program who, not always, but often the ones going, oh, okay, here's a bit of football, love the opportunity to take control of the game and to decide what was right and what was wrong. And
yes, we
so
do.
there's an amazing amount of, I think, transferable skills that you can develop through
I
sport.
love that. Now,
but it always has to be connected.
I know that you work with employers in sort of accountancy, finance, digital technology, customer service, law, marketing. How can people get in touch with you, please, and find out more?
Well, we've got a website, ltsb.charity, so I'd really recommend any young people listening or their parents, look at the website. The key appeal we'd like to make is what we have is incredibly talented young people, and what we know is there's actually a very small window where people get to find jobs equal to their ability, their ambition, particularly in the cost of living crisis. It's really hard to focus on your dream when you're trying to solve today's problems.
Of course it is.
So what we're really looking out for right now is for companies who are committed to social mobility, committed to the best of all backgrounds, to get in touch with us as a charity and see what young people we can provide. We have amazing schemes with NatWest Group and with BDO, and they meet our young people, help nurture them, and then they get to interview and decide which one's right for the job. And what we find is amazing
this sounds
retention rates in the role.
Pete, a real pleasure to speak to you, and good luck with this. And just give us the website details again, please.
ltsb.charity. Please
Brilliant.
get in touch.
Pete, thank you very much.
I don't know a reputation, but all the boys in the hood say it's all good, but the trick ain't it. Though you need to make a switch, smacking on your lips with your hands on your hips, trifling slimy. Don't try me playing on the phone. You're supposed to be grown. Trick, stop lying, I ain't with it. Keep running your mouth and I'ma stick some in it. Hoochie hood rat needs home training. Ghetto ops always complaining, trying to clown in front of my friend. By the way, trick, can I get those ends? Forget theatrics, you ain't no actress. Lay on the mattress and let me splack it. She's full of drama. The hoochie hood rat is a freak like her mom. She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. Oh, I love your big brown eyes and the way you shake your thighs, acting like you're so damn cute. Let your boy just knock them boots. I don't need no confrontation. All I want is an ejaculation. 'Cause I like them ghetto hoochies, ones who like to pop that Gucci. Miami style, make your boy smile, get buck wild. Seeing you freak is what I like, and I love to see you freak all night. My favorite time is 69. Girl, you know it's Gucci time. F what you heard and save the drama. All I want is my hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. Mama just don't understand why I love them hoochies, man. Sex is what I need them for. I got a good girl, but I love her more. I like my girls promiscuous, hot and fast and ready to bust. Foreplay your way, our way, my way. Trick or freak and I hit it on Friday. Girl, you know you look so cute. Ride round town in your Daisy Duke. Come on over for a visit. Let your boy ride in your Civic. 'Cause I like them ghetto hoochies, one who got them big old booties. Save the drama for your mama. All I want is my hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. Yeah, she ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama. Yeah, she ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat, hoochie mama.
Coming up in the next hour, slightly overexcited and also very embarrassed. I might do this. I will do it. What happens if I actually do it out loud when I speak to Earl Carpenter and I just do it myself? No, I'm going to stop now.